Om Agyanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya De Satarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruvasya Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langhayate girim Yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Where are other devotees? Many devotees are missing nowadays classes. Can we take attendance? Yes. Kushal Bihari Prabhu, you are supposed to be the coordinator. Yes. Can we take attendance?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Where are devotees? Half of the devotees don't switch on their videos and half of them don't come. Then we should have some okay. I think I should become more stricter. Otherwise, it's becoming, already we are having online classes, and online classes means you have a lot of comfort. Previously, there was no online class, there was offline class. You have to get up, you have to come, you have to reach to the place of the class. And now it is online class, so it gives you a lot of comfort. But in that also, if otherwise it will become very difficult to practice Krishna consciousness if you are not serious. Yeah, maybe from next class onwards we will allow only with video participants. That would ensure that we will have only serious people attending the classes. If because I'm seeing that I'm becoming little lenient, and then it is going beyond the boundaries of leniency. So if I just don't know if it 1 hour, 1.5 hours in a week, if it cannot be prioritized for hearing about Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the goal of life, then how it is possible to go back to Godhead? If we cannot prioritize just 1.5 hours of hearing sincerely, attentively, we cannot take out time, we cannot take out energy. So yes, Kushal Bihari Prabhu, so make it a point that from next class, those who don't want to switch on their videos, they are not allowed in the class. So we put it in a WhatsApp group clearly that this is the message, and if you are sure that you will not be able to switch on your videos, then don't come for the class. We don't want anyone in just listening mode without understanding what they're doing, whether they're making some notes, or is this clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
What is clear to you?
We'll put a message on our WhatsApp group that those devotees who are able to switch on videos, they can attend the class. Those who are not, they are unable to open the video, they may please refrain from attending the class.
Yeah, they can anyway do it in YouTube, because one devotee does it, then other devotee gets inspired to do it, and then the entire culture gets spoiled. So it's for sure that those who come for Zoom, they are supposed to open. Otherwise, anyway, the videos will be there available online from tomorrow, from within 2 days, so they can hear. They can take up Ekalavya classes, just like Ekalavya was hearing from far distance. Okay, Hare Krishna. Yeah. So we were discussing about Dhruva Maharaj's pastime, and Vidura is asking question to Maitreya Muni that, oh Maitreya, why is it that Dhruva Maharaj, after achieving all the desires, his desires were completely fulfilled, and why is it that after his desires are fulfilled, still he is lamenting, still he is feeling lamentation in his heart, he is not feeling satisfied? If one's desires is fulfilled, the natural result should be that I am satisfied, right? That's what the whole world is going around, trying to satisfy material desires, and with a hope that if I satisfy my material desires, then I will get fulfillment in life, I will get satisfaction in life. But then the natural question that is being asked by Vidura to Maitreya is that why is that Dhruva Maharaj, the way Dhruva Maharaj's desires were fulfilled, I don't think any of us can fulfill our desires in that way. Now, if Dhruva Maharaj, his desires got fulfilled in this way, and he could not get satisfied in life, then we should really question that whether I should really pursue a life for satisfying my material desires. Yes? If Dhruva Maharaj is not feeling satisfaction after fulfilling his material desires, we do not have material desires like Dhruva, nor even if we have, it can get fulfilled. So we really need to think that whether it can really give us any happiness. This is first point. The second point is, Maitreya Muni is taking example of Vidura. And if you remember, just 1 minute, don't put the verse, I'll just put the verse which we discussed last class, just will recite it again. Yeah, this is the verse. Yeah, you can, text number 36. Yeah. Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye. Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Navai Mukundasya Padaravindayo.
Navai Mukundasya Padaravindayo.
Rajo Jusastata Bhavadrisha Jana.
Rajo Jushastata Bhavadrisha Jana.
Vanchanti Taddashyamritamarthamatmano.
Vanchanti Taddashyamritamarthamatmano.
Yadrichaya labdhamana samriddhaya.
Yadrichaya labdhamana samriddhaya.
The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, persons like you who are pure devotees of the lotus feet of Mukunda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can offer liberation and who are always attached to the honey of his lotus feet, are always satisfied in serving at the lotus feet of the Lord. In any condition of life, such persons remain satisfied, and thus they never ask the Lord for material prosperity. So the great sage Maitreya said, Navai Mukundasya Padaravindayo. My dear Vidura, persons like you, if you see Bhavadrisha, you are able to see the word here? Bhavadrisha, I have highlighted it. Bhavadrisha means, Maitreya Muni is telling, oh Vidura, you are a very special person. Now, what is speciality of Vidura? So, we will do a little bit of, for 5 minutes, a little bit of comparison between Vidura and Dhruva Maharaj. Now, if you see Vidura was also put in a very, very, a situation where it is very, very insulting, embarrassing, like when it was decided that the war will be fought and everything, and Duryodhana wanted the war, and Dhritarashtra was asking Vidura that what should be done, and then immediately Vidura said, there is no question of war. If Dhritarashtra, you understand that if there is war, then the end result would be all your 100 sons, the entire Kauravas, entire family lineage, ours, everything will be wiped out. And only people will remain is Krishna and the 5 Pandavas. So Vidura already predicted Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra almost got convinced that there should be no war. We should divide the kingdom into 2 parts. At least that is better. If war happens, then I will lose the kingdom, I will lose my sons, I will lose my entire lineage. So better right now only divide into 2 parts. That's the better solution. So Dhritarashtra agreed. And then Duryodhana came. And Duryodhana saw that his father has all... Dhritarashtra was dharmic but weak-minded. He used to toss from Duryodhana to Vidura, Duryodhana to Vidura, Duryodhana to Vidura. Like he would be always like a pendulum, going from one side to another side, from dharma, adharma, dharma. When you will be with Duryodhana, you will become adharmic. When you will be with Vidura and Bhisma, you will become very dharmic. So that was Dhritarashtra. So when Duryodhana came to the palace and saw that Dhritarashtra almost had got convinced that there should be no war, immediately Duryodhana understood that this Vidura has to be wiped out, then only things will happen in my way. So that is how the nature of wicked personalities are there. Wicked personalities, they want to live a life based on their whims, based on their own things, and then they see saints as an obstacle to their fulfillment of their desires. And that's why they want to wipe out the saints from their society. And we see nowadays that saints are not allowed. If someone speaks truth according to scriptures, he is not entertained by the public. Whom public entertains nowadays? Those who will speak nice things, good things, where people will understand, yes, I am doing a great job. Those people are, and that's how we see people nowadays, they want to just get motivated in material life. Their definition of spirituality is, spirituality will give them some motivation to continue material life, which is completely against the spiritual principles. We will see today as we go ahead why I am talking about it. But here Vidura was speaking, and Duryodhan, when he entered, Mahabharata says that Duryodhan became so angry, he started shouting at Vidura. Actually, Vidura, when he saw Duryodhan, so he also said, Dhritarashtra, my dear brother, this is the culprit. If you remove just this person from your kingdom, everything will become peaceful. And just imagine, cobra is coming and you start trampling on the cobra. How much the cobra will start. So Duryodhan could not digest the truth about himself. So Duryodhan immediately said to Vidura that you just, my dear uncle, you just get out of the kingdom. And he started telling such insulting words to Vidura. He started telling that, oh Vidura, we don't know from where you are born. You are simply living like a dog in our kingdom, and just because we are compassionate, that's why you are living. But now, since the dog has become mad and is started to bite the masters, so we should throw you out of the kingdom. So like this very, very insulting words Duryodhana speaks about Vidura, and Vidura just leaves. Now Maitreya Muni is comparing here Dhruva and Vidura. He is speaking to Vidura and he is comparing here Dhruva and Vidura. Can anyone say why Maitreya Muni is telling like this? Oh Vidura, Dhruva was not like you. Why? Yeah.
So Dhruva was also insulted by his father and he also left the kingdom.
Insulted not by his father, insulted by his stepmother. So?
Yes.
Okay, so why?
So the change is that Vidura did not want, he did not want to come back and fight with us. He did not want to show that I am greater, I want something. Like Dhruva had that, उनका एक desire था ना कि मुझे इससे बड़ा राज्य चाहिए, इसको दिखाना है कि मैं कोई कम नहीं हूँ. So that is the desire of Dhruva, but Vidura did not have this desire.
Very good, very good. Quite close. Anyone else would like to try? Yeah.
So I think Vidura didn't absorb whatever or what had happened with him, whereas through Mahaman itself, being the child, he reacted. He went to Jangar to do something. Whereas through his friends, I think he didn't react anything towards the Duryodhana.
Okay, very good. Dhruva reacted and this Vidura didn't reacted. So, but what was the result, end result? What did Vidura do and what did Dhruva did? What Vidura did? Did he go to, what was the relationship between Vidura and Krishna? Dhruva never saw Krishna. Dhruva was never related with Narayan. He performed austerities to take darshan of Narayan. Just imagine Vidura. All of you know what is the relationship between Vidura and Krishna? Krishna has just come from Santi. This is just after the Santidut proposal, everything is gone and Krishna stayed in Vidura's house. Just imagine what a relationship Vidura had with Krishna. Now, Vidura had such strong relationship with Krishna. Dhruva had no relationship with Narayan. Dhruva, he wanted to have relationship with Narayan so that he can get some material happiness, some material post, so that he can show to his stepmother that how I am great. But Vidura had that relationship. Vidura didn't have to go for 6 months of penance to meet Narayan. Narayan, the source of all Narayan, Krishna was living in Vidura's palace. You're able to understand?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam. Vidura left for his personal spiritual growth, even for Tirtha, and didn't come to Krishna and complain about anything. And whether that you are mentioning that he has a relationship with Krishna, he could go to Krishna and could have said everything, but he went for a pilgrimage.
Yeah, correct. So Vidura used a material situation to create spiritual upliftment in his life. And Dhruva used a spiritual situation to wanting to create a material upliftment in his life. Now definitely Dhruva Maharaj also got purified, but Dhruva Maharaj went to Vrindavan, and Vidura is also going to Tirthas. How Vidura is meeting Maitreya, how this Sambad is happening, Vidura Maitreya Sambad. Because Vidura was chastised, Vidura was insulted by Duryodhan, he went out of the kingdom and then he started going for Tirth Yatra. So Vidura is going to Vrindavan, Vidura is going to different Tirthas, Dhruva also went to Tirtha. But the purpose of going Tirtha is different for Dhruva and Vidura. So in this way we should understand a person may be artificially practicing spirituality very nicely, chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 regulative principles, but he can be like Dhruva. But a person can be also looking like practicing devotees, but he can be like Vidura. There are so many people going to Tirthas, right? You will see that nowadays all the Tirthas are beyond imagination packed up. Yes? Sometimes I feel not going to Tirthas nowadays because so much of materialistic association you get in Tirthas. So much of materialistic association. The devotees were telling last yatra, Veer Narasimha was telling Prabhuji, we should go this place, that place, that place. I was feeling, I just don't want to go anywhere. Let all devotees come to Calcutta and we will do Sankirtan in Calcutta. Because the Tirthas are gone so bad. Because all these people with so much of material desires going to Tirthas and contaminating these places. And no one has any desire to hear from any sadhu after going to Vrindavan, going to Puri. They just want to take a dip in Radha Kund and or this Kund, that Kund, and they will take prasadam or puchka or somewhere and then finish their tirtha visit over. Bhagavatam says that anyone who goes to tirthas like this, without association of devotees, without association of Guru who can reveal the Dham, without hearing, he is just like a donkey. Can you imagine? Yat tirtha buddhi salile na karihe chit sa eva go khara. He is a khara. He is a donkey number 1. So sometimes Bhagavatam speaks very, very strong words to actually rise us above the contaminated state of life, where we actually use Krishna, use spirituality for our material upliftment. That is a very, very, in the beginning stages of spiritual life, that may be appreciated, okay, at least he is coming. But as we practice and advance in Krishna consciousness, we should have a desire to purify our devotional service and purify the purpose for practice of devotional service. So here, Maitreya Muni is giving an example that, oh Vidura, you were also insulted, Dhruva was also insulted. But Dhruva didn't had association of Narayan. Dhruva practiced penance to get a Narayan, but you already had association of Krishna. But you never went to Krishna and complained, dekho, dekho, you see Krishna, what they did with me, they threw me out of the kingdom. Huh? At least give me one village Krishna to rule. That is the speciality Maitreya Muni is telling to Vidura. That is your speciality. And that is what we need to understand. That this material life anyway is an illusion. And we should really, when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we should try to absorb the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is Apavarga Samhita. It is Apavarga Samhita, Apavarga Vartmani. It shows us the path of Apavarga, that is liberation. As we go ahead, we will see that. So this is one comparison Maitreya Muni is telling, that Vidura and Dhruva. Dhruva was put in the same situation, Vidura was put in the same situation. Vidura reacted in different way, Dhruva reacted in different way. Vidura had all facilities to go to Krishna and beg a greater kingdom than Duryodhana, and so to Duryodhana that I am not useless, what you are telling. I am a great person. But that is why Dhruva Maharaj lamented. When he started practicing bhakti, when his heart got purified, he got lamentation because, oh, what nonsense, I went to Narayan and started asking all these material things. But still Dhruva is considered glorious and much more glorious than the demigods, because even demigods, Vishnu speaks directly that, oh demigods, you are taking my darshan, don't ask all these things. Still demigods don't realize. But at least Dhruva Maharaj is glorious. So Vidura is topmost, his quality. And Dhruva is middle. And the demigods are like this. And we are like here, completely. On the most fallen condition. So Vidura is the topmost. Maitreya Muni is telling that though you are insulted, though you didn't, and you had such a strong relationship with Krishna, you didn't really do anything. Now below that is Dhruva, who actually went to Krishna, got material desires fulfilled, but then he understood his mistake. Oh, I made a mistake. Life is not meant for all these things. He made a mistake, and then further he practiced pure devotional service. Below that are the demigods, who also meet Narayan. Narayan speaks to them that the goal of life is not heaven, the goal of life is to not enjoy in this world. But still, they continue on their material path. But they will do pious materialism. They will go through Vishnu only and practice materialism. And below that is all of us who are not even fully surrendered to Krishna for our fulfillment of material desires. At least the demigods are much better, that they want their material desires to be fulfilled, but they seek only Krishna for the fulfillment of their material desires. They will not go to some tantric, and you will not find Indra going to a tantric, or Indra going to this some astrologer, some Indra going to this. Indra will go to Vishnu only. And you will not find Indra going to some other place to get some strength so that he can fight with the demons. He will go to Vishnu only. Only Vishnu. Tad Vishnu param padam sada pashyanti suryayaha. We sing, na? Correct? This is the famous sloka. It is being sung. Om tad Vishnu param padam sada pashyanti. Tad Vishnu param padam sada pashyanti suryaha. Surya, the demigods, are always looking at Krishna's lotus feet, Vishnu's lotus feet, for their fulfillment of material desires. So these are 3 levels, and we are in the 4th level. We are given an opportunity that there are some other ways that my life can be peaceful, my mind can be peaceful, other than practice of spirituality. Immediately we'll grab it. Arey kaun itna mala karega? Thoda sa. Imagine all of us are told you will get one tonic, small, 5 ml you have to drink once in a week, and then all your mind will be peaceful, your life will become very, very peaceful, and you will get lot of material happiness, you will get lot of intelligence, you will get lot of wealth also, and your senses will become strong, and your age will also become nice, your ladies will, their skin will be glowing like anything, and their hairs will never become grey. Everyone will take that tonic and leave Vishnu's lotus feet. And that's why we are different than the demigods. We are fallen than the demigods. Why? Because as soon as we get a Vishnu tonic, Vishnu replacement, alternative tonic, so immediately we'll take that tonic and get material things in life. But the demigods they will sada means eternally. Om tad Vishnu param padam sada. always. Pashyanti Suryaha. They always seek the shelter of the Vishnu. So at least the Dhruva Maharaj is better, that he is in the higher category than the demigods, that after fulfillment of material desires, he realized his mistake. But our goal of life, the purpose of life, is to follow in the footsteps of Vidura. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam presents here. Srimad Bhagavatam presents the quality of Vidura. That Vidura was also put in the same situation. No difference. Rather, Vidura was put in a more horrible situation. Dhruva was just a 5-year-old boy. Correct? What is insult for a 5-year-old boy? And Vidura was the minister. He was the advisor to Dhritarashtra. He was not just the advisor. He was the uncle of Duryodhana. Duryodhana was his nephew. His nephew, and he was so old, he was so respected in the kingdom. He was insulted. So Vidura was put in a more, like someone was telling, Vidura was put in the same situation. Vidura was put in a much more horrible situation than Dhruva. But he never went to Krishna and got material things to show to Duryodhana that how great he is. He just... So exactly in the same way, those who are aspiring in the path of pure devotional service, we must understand that pure devotional service is what conquers Krishna. Just imagine how Krishna would have felt with the Vidura's response like this. That this person just doesn't need anything else from me. Just he needs me. Just he needs my love. And that's how Krishna gets conquered by his pure devotees. Madarthe tyakta bandhava. Kapila Muni is telling in one verse that, my mother Devahuti, that there are some people who practice some yoga to connect with me. They practice pranayam, they practice breathing exercises, they practice yama, niyama, they practice meditation, they practice austerities to connect with me. But unfortunately, after doing all these things, sometimes they fail to connect with me. But my pure devotees, they leave everything for my sake. And I connect with my pure devotees. So Krishna wants to make yoga connection with his pure devotees. So when we start following in the footsteps of Vidura, then Krishna will connect with our lives. We do not have to endeavor, Bhagwan ka darshan karna hai. Krishna will come and really get conquered by our expression, by our response. So we must understand that if we want to love Krishna, if we want Krishna to get attracted, Krishna's mercy to get attracted, we need to follow in the footsteps of Vidura. So many lifetimes we have spent in material life, and till now we are frustrated. In this very life itself, we are not able to find any happiness and satisfaction. So material life will not award us anything. And what avenues we have as a human being to enjoy. As a human being, you take little more food, you will get indigestion. And that too a human being in Kali Yuga. You will go around little bit to roam around some places, then you will become tired. And what enjoyment demigods have. And still demigods are also lamenting, ki hi. Vishnu said to us so many times, why we are not practicing pure devotional service. And as we go ahead, the pastime unfolds in the same light. Like Maitreya Muni unfolds the pastime in this entire chapter, and he ends the chapter also in the same light. To Vidura, he speaks. So what happens is, after this, Dhruva Maharaj returns, and when Dhruva Maharaj returns back, there is a lot of celebration. Uttanapad feels like as if his own life has come back. And then there is celebration in the city. There is decoration in the city. Both the mothers, they come to meet Dhruva. Uttanapad comes running to meet Dhruva. And Dhruva has completely got purified of his envious or feeling of hatred towards his stepmother Suruchi. And Suruchi also forgets everything. Dhruva immediately puts Dandavat to Suruchi, puts Dandavat to Suniti, and they embrace him, and then they start living happily ever after. And Maitreya Muni, in almost for 10 verses, he speaks about Uttanapad's city. How everything was gold. Everything was gold. We will just read some lines. So just wait 1 minute. Yeah, so we'll just read some of the lines to understand how the yeah. So this is it. In the capital city, there were many palaces, city gates, and surrounding walls, which were already very, very beautiful. And on this occasion, all of them were decorated with golden ornaments. The domes of the city palaces glittered, as did the domes of the beautiful airplanes which hovered over the city. All the quadrangles, lanes, streets in the cities, and the raised sitting places at the crossings were thoroughly cleansed and sprinkled with sandalwood water, and auspicious grains such as rice, barley, and flowers, fruits, and many other auspicious presentations were scattered all over the city. Dhruva Maharaj thereafter lived in his father's palace. So this is explanation of father's palace, which had walls bedecked with highly valuable jewels. His affectionate father took particular care of him, and he dwelled in that house just as demigods live in their palaces in the higher planetary systems. The bedding in the palace was as white as the foam of milk and was very soft. The bedsteads were made of ivory with embellishments of gold. Hare Krishna. So the bed was made of ivory with golden embroidery. And the chairs and benches and other sitting places and furnitures were made of gold. Hare Krishna. The palace of the king was surrounded by walls made of marble with many engravings made of valuable jewels like sapphires. So they had marbles, and in that there was engravings of sapphires, which depicted beautiful women with shining jewel lamps in their hands. So they had pictures. The king's residence was surrounded by gardens wherein there were varieties of trees brought from the heavenly planets. In those trees there were pairs of sweetly singing birds and almost mad bumblebees which made a very relisable buzzing sound. It's not like it was in the center of the city, like honking and all those things going on. It was like in the most wonderful setting the palace was, right? So there were emerald staircases, Hare Krishna, which led to lakes full of variously colored lotus. So this is about the lakes, Pukur. So there were emerald staircases in the lakes, and they were full of various colored lotus flowers, lilies, not stinking like the Nala of Kestupur Nala of Calcutta. And there were swans, no crows. Crows are not mentioned here. Swans, karandavas, Chakravakas, cranes and similar other valuable birds were visible in those lakes. Right? So now this is the setting, and after explaining this all setting, we will see what Dhruva Maharaj is Uttanapad is telling. So we will recite this verse 67. So first, Maitreya Muni explained all the wonderful setting of Uttanapad's palace. And then we will read this verse. This is 67th verse. Atmanang cha pravayasham
Atmanam cha pravesham
Akalaya visampati
Akalaya vishampati
Vanam virakta pratishthad
Vanam virakta pratishthad
Vimrishan atmano gatim.
Vimrishan atmano gatim.
Yeah. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. After considering his advanced age and deliberating on the welfare of his spiritual self, King Uttanapad detached himself from worldly affairs and entered the forest. Purport. This is the sign of a Rajrishi. King Uttanapad was very opulent and was emperor of the world, and these attachments were certainly very great. Modern politicians are not as great as kings like Maharaj Uttanapad, but because they get some political power for some days, they become so attached to their position that they never retire unless they are removed from their post by cruel death or killed by some opposing political party. Hare Krishna. It is within our experience that the politicians in India do not quit their positions until death. This was not the practice in olden days, as it is evident from the behavior of King Uttanapad. Immediately after installing his worthy son Dhruva Maharaj on the throne, he left his home and palace. There are hundreds and thousands of instances like this in which kings in their mature age would give up their kingdoms and go to the forest to practice austerity. Practice of austerity is the main business of human life. As Maharaj Dhruva practiced austerity in his early age, his father Uttanapad in his old age also practiced austerity in the forest. In modern days, however, it is not possible to give up one's own home and go to the forest to practice austerity. But if people of all ages would take shelter of Krishna consciousness movement and practice the simple austerities of no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating, and chant the Hare Krishna regularly 16 rounds, by this practical method, it would be very easy to get salvation from this material world. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, Uttanapad, he was living in all these palaces in this setting and all, but he, as it's mentioned here, Bimrishan Atmano Gatim. If you read, he was constantly deliberating about his Atmano Gatim, about his spiritual journey. So now this is Uttanapad, who was so attached to Suruchi, so much so attached to Suruchi that he made Dhruva to leave the kingdom. Now such a person who was so weak in dealing with his wife, he was constantly deliberating about his spiritual life. Just imagine that this is the status of the weakest person in those times. Even the strongest person in character doesn't even think of spiritual life in nowadays. So we must understand that whether we have character or no character, or we are weak or not weak, Uttanapad was weak, but he was not mindless. He was definitely weak, but he understood the goal of life is not to enjoy with Suruchi or Suniti or in the kingdom. So weakness of mind and weakness of heart. So Uttanapad had weakness of mind. His mind was weak towards wrong things, but his heart was convinced that this is wrong and I need to go and perform austerities, and that is the goal of life. I need to please Vishnu, and the goal of life is to go back to Godhead. And when the right time came, immediately he left for his spiritual journey. So we must understand that we may get involved in so many things in our life, but we should be convinced that these are all useless. The only thing that is of any value in human form of life is to practice Krishna consciousness seriously and sincerely and go back to Godhead. That's the goal of life. So Uttanapad, though he was so attached to his wife, he was never having any doubt regarding the goal of life. So we may be sometimes weak, we may have some weakness of mind, but our heart should be convinced that the goal of life is not living in this material world. The goal of life is to go back to spiritual world. And if our heart is convinced, then there is some hope. But if our heart is only not convinced, we think that just like people in this world nowadays, they practice spirituality very nicely, but their goal of spirituality is material life. That they want to improve the status of their material life by practice of spirituality. That was not case of Uttanapad Maharaj. He was not taking spirituality or whatever it is for the purpose of material upliftment. Spirituality is not for material upliftment. So we will see, now one may say, okay, spirituality is not for material upliftment. Yes, I need to practice spiritual life seriously. But just see Uttanapad, he enjoyed the entire life, and at the time of old age, he went to forest, correct? So I will also do like this. What I will do? I will enjoy my entire life very, very nicely, and right now, why chant 16 rounds, and I will then at the end of life, like Uttanapad, I will go. Maybe I like Uttanapad, I don't have emerald studded staircases in my home, but at least I have concrete staircases, marble staircases, and it's a comfortable home. Let me stay. And when I will get old like Uttanapad, then I will go. Okay, so you are telling you will follow in the footsteps of Uttanapad, then we will take the next verse also. So please follow properly. So we will see the next verse, which says that what is actually meaning of following Uttanapad. Like many people say like this, yes, Prabhuji, very nice. Bhakti, old age mein, Uttanapad ki tarah. So we will see now what is real example. This is next chapter, first verse, matlab the next verse, the last verse, and this is just the next verse. That there the chapter ended. Maitreya Vacha Prajapater Duhitaram Sisumarasya Vaidhruva Upayeme Brahmim Nama Tatsuto Kalpavatsaro. Translation: The great sage Maitreya said, my dear Vidura, thereafter Dhruva Maharaj married the daughter of Prajapati Sisumar, whose name was Brahmi, and two sons named Kalpa and Vatsara were born of her. Now you read this purport, very interesting. Many people say that they will follow the footsteps of Uttanapad. We will see what is following footsteps of Uttanapad. It appears that Dhruva Maharaj married after being installed on the throne of his father and after the departure of his father to the forest for self-realization. It is very important to note in this connection that since Maharaj Uttanapad was greatly affectionate towards his son, and since it is the duty of a father to get his sons and daughters married as quickly as possible, why did he not get his son married before he left home? The answer is that Maharaj Uttanapad was a Raj Rishi, saintly king. Although he was busy in political affairs, duties of government management, he was very anxious for self-realization. Therefore, as soon as his son Dhruva Maharaj was quite worthy to take charge of the government, he took the opportunity to leave home, just like his son, who without fear left home for self-realization even at the age of 5. These are rare instances from which we can see that the importance of spiritual realization is above all other important work. Maharaj Uttanapad knew very well that to get his son Dhruva Maharaj married was not so important that it should take preference to his going to the forest for self-realization. Hare Krishna. So what would be Maharaj Uttanapad's age? Dhruva has not got married also, and that is old age. Maitreya Muni says that Uttanapad was very old. Dhruva is not married, and Uttama आगे जाके one में से okay maybe Uttama is elder son and Dhruva is younger son, not get married. Uttam married हो गया. Later on it comes that Uttama was also not married. Uttama died without married. That in the same chapter it will come ahead. So sometimes we think it is easy to follow Uttanapad's example. At the old age, I will leave. But this is old age. That, okay, the son is having job, just leave now. And what was Dhruva's age? Maybe after 5-6 years would be, at those times 16 years, people used to be enthroned in their thing. So, without even making Dhruva get married, Uttanapad left the kingdom in search of spiritual realization. So, which is easier? To practice everyday Krishna consciousness and chant Hare Krishna and practice follow 4 regulative principle, or okay, theek hai, just not do anything, and at the end your son is there, whatever is there, wife is there, just leave everything. And you still have some lot of prime of youth remaining and you left. It's not that Uttanapad was very, very old. So that's why in the previous verse, prabridham is used, prakrishta rupena bridham. So spirituality should never be kept for the old age. Spirituality has to be practiced right now seriously. If we keep for the old age, we will never practice spirituality. We will never practice spirituality. It will never come. Never come. This life will go, next life will go, next to next life will go, and there is no guarantee that next life will get human life. Spirituality is right now business. All other things is right later business. So when we have this principle, what Uttanapad is telling, this is a principle. It's not that Bhagavatam is telling leave your son and daughter. Bhagavatam is telling that the principle of practice of spirituality, the priority of practicing spirituality, the seriousness of practicing spirituality is above all other material work in your life. That's the principle. So we need to understand that the details of how Uttanapad did and details of how we will practice Krishna consciousness seriously is different. But we should take the principle that Maitreya Muni is telling to Vidura and telling that, oh Vidura, you followed this principle. And the principle was Srila Prabhupada is telling, this is the principle. Maharaj Uttanapad knew very well that to get his son Dhruva Maharaj married was not so important that it should take preference to his going away to the forest for self-realization. So we must understand that if we take not just one life, if we take one day, we must understand in a day there is nothing much important than chanting the holy names of the Lord. In a week, there is nothing much important than hearing classes. As in the morning I was telling, half of the devotees are not switching on their videos. So that means you are not prioritizing to attend the class. Similarly, while chanting, we have so many things. We are with our mobiles, we have this, we have that, so many things. Why? That means we are not prioritizing chanting. And somehow I have taken a commitment, I have got initiated or wanting to get initiated, I have to get a commitment of chanting 16 rounds. Anyway, I have to complete it. So, ठीक है, तो कर लेते हैं. Mobile देख के, करके, वो करके, somehow I have to complete. So, we need to understand that there is nothing much important in a day other than completing the 16 rounds as sincerely as possible. There is nothing much important than at least the actual course what Srila Prabhupada has said, that all of us should hear Bhagavatam every day. That is what Srila Prabhupada's instruction is. Acharya's instruction is. That is what Srimad Bhagavatam's instruction is. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Every day we must hear and read Srimad Bhagavatam. But at least we have made it once in a week. So at least that priority should be taken seriously. That yes, this is my life and soul, that I need to really prioritize it. If we prioritize, then we achieve that. If we prioritize money, so we achieve. People do anything. At 4 o'clock, if there is meeting, and if you attend that meeting, you will get 2 lakh rupees. Who will not attend that 4 o'clock meeting with video on? Tell me. Who will lose that meeting? Which foolish person? Imagine at 4 o'clock you have to attend a meeting, your video has to be on, you have to take bath, and you will get 2 lakh rupees. You will not attend that meeting. That is weekly allowance you will get. And that means you will get 8 lakh rupees just if you attend 4 o'clock morning a meeting with video on. Who will not attend that? Yeah, because we love money. We are attached to money. And that's why and we do not love Krishna. We are not attached to Krishna. But understand, all the money is Krishna's property. Without Krishna, you are enjoying money, you are simply stealing God's property. You are simply stealing God's property. Lakshmi is for Krishna's service. So we take priority of doing everything if there is money involved in it, some productivity is involved in it, something I will get it. And when it comes to Krishna, anyway, where is Krishna? Who has seen it? Who has seen it? Whether I am chanting nicely or not, who cares? Some little bit of mental peace I am getting, some good association I am getting. I have to also, like Krishna consciousness after some time becomes a social status. If I have to stay in ISKCON, I have to chant 16 rounds. What can I do? So that it should not become a social status. We should understand, as Uttanapad is showing through his example, that no other work. Uttanapad left the kingdom without even getting Dhruva married. So if we really want to follow Uttanapad and keep Krishna consciousness piled up at one point of time, then you follow. Don't let your kids get married. Leave. Go to the forest. You will die going to the forest because you have no habit of staying in the forest. So better than that, stay in home. Stay in your comfortable home. practice Krishna consciousness as per the instructions of the acharyas, as per the instructions of the gurus. If my guru has said that yes, I need to chant Hare Krishna, giving priority to it above everything else in the day, let me just do it. And remaining day, whatever I am engaged, I am engaged. If my guru is telling that let me prioritize the hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam, I will do it. So when you do that priority, then you will achieve Krishna. But if you do not give that priority, Krishna is not so cheap. Krishna is not so cheap. So we should understand, we should not make Krishna consciousness and spiritual life very, very cheap. When it comes to productivity, we are so serious, so serious. Every penny we count. Every penny is counted. How much I will get, how much. I have seen people calculating, my goodness, how much they calculate. How much they calculate. Oh, this is giving higher interest rate, so then I will take some loan from here, and this is giving a lower interest rate lane, and here the savings bank interest rate is more. I will take out loan from here, I will put it here, and then there will be loan. There is so much of calculation for ultimately something which you will anyway leave in this world and go empty-handed. And for Krishna consciousness, anyway, however it is going, this is the only thing we can take. This is our only real wealth, and that we are very, very lazy, very. That's what Kali Yuga is manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya upadrita. So manda, one is very spiritually lazy, not able to understand how death is coming. At any moment death can come, and how I am not prepared for death, how I am not preparing my consciousness, and how I can become may not get a human form of life. So human life is specifically meant for spiritual realization. There is no other priority more important than spiritual self-realization than anything else in human life. So we understand it, we prioritize it, then we will be successful. Otherwise, we will be manda bhagyaha. Manda bhagya means most unfortunate. Getting an opportunity to practice bhakti, to come in touch with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission and not practicing seriously is manda bhagyaha. Most unfortunate person. So it's my sincere request that all of you become serious and sincere in understanding these principles, and we will also see in the next class that how to become serious and sincere, because we have weakness of mind like Uttanapath. We will see how Dhruva, he became also weak. At the end of this chapter, we will see how Dhruva also became weak. So next class we will see that how the material world is designed to make us spiritually weak. It is designed to make us spiritually weak. And how we can continue to be spiritually enthused while living in material world, we will see in the next class. And we will see how Dhruva became spiritually weak. What to speak of all of us? If Dhruva can become, he saw Krishna face to face and he is becoming spiritually weak. So how much we are in a position, what will happen to us? But there is hope, there is solution, and if we take those solutions, then we'll become very, very enlivened. So this next class we will discuss. But this class, today's class, we understood that how spiritual life is a priority. It is not just a preference. Okay, it is my preference to chant 16 rounds in the morning. It's a priority. I need to prioritize to take out time. So it's not just a preference. It's a priority. Okay, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavat Mahapurana ki jai. Yeah. Yes, anyone has any question? Yes, Udit Prabhu has a question. Ritu Mataji, Nidhi Mataji. Yeah. Yes, Dhanavad.
Prabhu, I think Premanand Prabhu raised first.
Okay, you have a question, or the hand was raised much before? I am not able to understand whether you have a question. Yes, Premanand Prabhu, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Dhanavad, yeah.
Thank you for this very interesting lecture. Actually, I got the question when you said Uttanapad, he left to the forest without even getting Dhruva married. So I was like wondering, like sometimes we also get the thought that yeah, this has to be prioritized, and we kind of push our material responsibilities temporarily. We kind of relegate them. We kind of push it down and say, okay, this can wait for some time later, and then we forget about it completely.
Yeah.
And then somebody comes and reminds us that, oh, you have not done this also. Supposed to be done by even normal, like a layman also will do this. You are always doing this japam and you are just reading Bhagavatam, you are always hearing lectures. You are not living life of a responsible person. So how will we, that same doubt comes that why Uttanapad did like this? I mean, is it not like his responsibility also to get his son married properly and settle him and then leave? So
yeah.
How to like understand this story?
Yeah, correct. Very nice question. So depends on whom we are interacting with. Who is telling us this? Who is defining us? Like 90% of the world will consider Sri Nitai Das as crazy. He left his parents, he left his job, he was a scholar, he was a topper, government spent so much of money on him as scholarship, and he left everything and speaking on Bhagavatam. Is this the goal of life? Half of 90% of the world tells me as crazy only. But if my Guru, Radhanath Swami, is not telling me I am crazy, he is telling, no, you are doing correct, then I should understand that I am not crazy. So that is how, from who is telling us that you are irresponsible is very important. I am irresponsible or responsible is not very important. Who is telling me responsible and irresponsible is very important. If my Guru is telling that I am irresponsible, then I am irresponsible. If my Guru is telling I am responsible, I am responsible. Like I only wanted to leave much early, but Radheshyam Prabhu said, no, all the loans have to be cleared. Your parents should have a house, and the house should be also, Radheshyam Prabhu was so particular that the house should be 2 floor. Because you are single son, the house should be 2 floor, and the top floor your parents should live, and ground floor should be given as bhada, so that in the old age if there is some emergency, someone is there. Later on you can go, because you will not be staying near the parents. To that extent, our Guru Vargas are particular in making us responsible, but they never said, get married to me. Oh, you have got a desire to join the ashram? Very nice, join the ashram, but don't become irresponsible to your parents. So, if Radheshyam Prabhu Radhanath Maharaj is telling Sri Nitai, you are irresponsible, yes, I am irresponsible, no discussion, no clarification also. If someone else, Tom, Dick and Harry comes from somewhere else and says, what nonsense you are, Sri Nitai Das, you are an irresponsible fellow, them also I'll put Dandavat and consider, yes, be happy in your own opinion about me. So, lot of people will have lot of opinion about us, but our Guru's opinion is what we should cherish in our heart. That's why he is called Guru. Guru means heavy. There are so many opinions and Guru's opinion. If Guru says, nonsense Sri Nitai, you are irresponsible. Yes, I am irresponsible. Gurudev, tell me how I can become responsible. So that is how we should have under our head, over our head, someone who is actually can correct us at every situation. And to the extent that even Vyasadeva, who has written so many scriptures, he had Narad Muni to correct him, right? So Narad Muni said to Vyasdev, you are irresponsible, you are useless in writing all the scriptures. Vyasdev said, yes, Gurudev, I am irresponsible. Tell me what I should do. Write Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is how we should understand that there will be so many opinions, so many people, they appreciate Vyasdev for all the contributions Vyasdev made. And Narad Muni criticized Vyasdev. So whom Vyasdev considered important? Vyasdev didn't go to Narad Muni and said, "Arey, just see, so many people are telling me I am great, I am great, I am great. I have divided the Vedas into 4 parts, this and that. So many people are glorifying me. And you, my Gurudev, you are criticizing me." So Vyasdev didn't say it. Vyasdev didn't took the majority of the opinions about him. He took Guru's opinion very seriously. So people will say irresponsible, responsible, their minds are not in their control. So we do not have to worry about them. We have to worry what our Guru Vargas are telling. And that's how we should have our Guru Vargas in our head. Someone should be there. We should be accountable to someone. That will make our life very, very easy. Very, very easy. Okay? Yeah, Hare Krishna. Hare Bol, Hare Bol. Yes, Udit Prabhu. Thank you for... Yeah.
Thanks for giving this comparison of Vidura and Dhruva. So my question is, if we consider the situation of Vidura, so he was at later stage of his life. So at this moment, leaving everything, I'm thinking like, okay, I can leave and go to Saru Krishna. But in such scenario, which is like a political situation, one can also have to push back sometimes. So for people like us, how we should differentiate, like when we should consider it as a Krishna's will and leave everything, or consider Krishna's will and push back to people.
Yeah.
So that's the question.
Yeah, so Arjuna was also a very nice question. So Arjuna was also put in a situation like this. And Arjuna was telling to be like Vidura, correct? Yes. So Arjuna's behavior to become like Vidura is condemned. But Vidura's behavior is appreciated. So, imagine Vidura has done some mistakes. So, one should understand that if we do mistake, there are enough, we should have relationship with enough spiritual superiors that immediately they should come and tell us that I think you are doing a mistake. So, doing a mistake is not a problem. Let us say hypothetically Vidura did a mistake. Then there is Krishna. He will come to Vidura just like he came for Arjuna. Doing mistakes, we should not be afraid of doing mistakes. By nature, the conditioned soul, the jiva will do mistakes. Krishna is not worried about it. Krishna is worried about whether you are, after being told, Karishya vachanam tava. Oh Achyuta, Arjuna said, Karishya vachanam tava. Nashta moha smriti labdha. Main samajh gaya, I have made a mistake. Now I will do your work only. So the jivas are in a material world, they by nature they will commit mistakes. Because we are not Vishnu Tattvas, we are Jiva Tattvas, and so long we are not fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, we may commit mistakes, we may become irresponsible, we may do something which is against the practice of spirituality. So, but we do not have to be afraid about that. Immediately Krishna will send someone to correct us. And if Krishna sends someone, so we should. Krishna didn't send Vidura, anyone for Vidura to get corrected. But Krishna himself corrected Arjuna. So if we are surrendered to Krishna and we make mistake, later on we will read in the Dhruva's example also, Krishna will either himself come to correct us or will send his representatives to correct us. And if we are surrendered to those Krishna's representatives, we will get corrected. We do not have to worry. We do not have to fear, oh, in this world, if I commit some mistake. Commit mistake, don't worry. Don't lose your saranagati. If you have Saranagati, you are always safe. You have committed mistake, Krishna will send someone to tell you, Ki Prabhuji, I don't think this is proper, this is not right for you at this stage. So refrain from it. And immediately we should refrain from it. Yes, it's not right for me at this stage. My Guru Vargas are telling like this. Or Krishna himself may come. So we should understand that there is no problem in committing mistakes. It's not that we should commit mistakes or deliberately think about I'll commit mistake, but mistakes will happen. That is the nature of this world. That is only Krishna doesn't do mistake. He is Achyuta. We are not Achyuta. We will commit some mistakes. But we should have the humility to accept the scoldings or the reprimands of our superiors and again redirect our life in their direction. So if let us say we take a wrong step in our life thinking that it is actually Krishna consciousness, then there is no problem. Krishna is not noting down what steps we took. Krishna is noting down after that step what was the response. I sent you someone to direct you that this is a wrong step. Did you refrain from it? You didn't refrain from it. So Arjuna was almost convinced that he should not fight, he should go to forest like Vidura. And Vidura also did the same thing. But in case of Arjuna, Krishna himself came and told Arjuna that it is wrong. And in case of Vidura, Krishna didn't do that. That means Krishna was happy with Vidura's response like this. So Krishna is there in the life of his devotees as a loving, compassionate guide. And if he himself cannot come, then he sends his guru in his lives. We recognize that and then we are safe. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, who is there? Kushal Vihari Prabhu, then Sanjukta Mataji, Ritu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thank you Prabhuji for this enlightening class. Actually, my doubt is stupid doubt. Actually, then in our scriptures, our acharyas, sometimes they glorify a devotee and sometimes they condemn the behavior of a devotee. And like in the beginning, Arjuna, when Srila Prabhupada is explaining about Arjuna, so he's telling he's due to compassionate heart, being a devotee, compassionate heart, so he's not ready to fight the battle. At the same time, then it is also said that it was the weakness of his heart. And so like here, Uttanapad also we see in the beginning he's condemned for his behavior and later he is glorified. So sometimes somebody may feel that what is this, just to fulfill your whatever lesson you want to give, for that you are using whatever way you want to use. So that how to understand, how to counter that.
Yeah, correct. But everyone is not like Uttanapad. There are some devotees who have been always glorious. They never did any mistake in their life, like Prahlad. So Prahlad's life is all glorious. He never did any mistake in his life. So scriptures are very open in telling whoever did what mistakes. So in Prahlad Maharaj's entire life in the 7th canto, if you read, there is no instance where anywhere it is told that, Prahlad was not supposed to do like this. But in Dhruva's life, there are instances like this. So scriptures are very open. They don't want to cover up anything. They don't want to cover up Dhruva's life. They don't want to cover up Prahlad's life. They don't want to cover up Indra's life, Uttanapad's life. They're very open. And why they're open? So as to give us hope. The openness in scripture gives us hope. I feel that reading Prahlad Maharaj's pastime is not as hopeful as reading Uttanapad's pastime. This is my personal opinion, that when I read Uttanapad's pastime, then I feel more hope When I read Dhruva's pastime, I feel more hope than when I read Prahlad's pastime. If I read Prahlad's pastime, I think, my goodness, it becomes very difficult. But if I read Dhruva's pastime, yeah, it's possible, I think so. And okay, no problem. I took darshan of Krishna. Then I made some mistake. But still, if I take shelter of the Vaishnavas, I'll be, So it's very hopeful. So if you see it from the perspective and understand that the scriptures is not trying to tamper the storyline. If scriptures tamper the storyline, then your question is valid. Yes, then scripture trying to give whatever examples. Scriptures don't tamper the storyline. Scriptures present the storyline as it is. The Uttanapad storyline is presented as it is. Uttanapad was attached in the beginning. Later on, he became detached and he became glorious. Dhritarashtra's storyline is also not tampered. Dhritarashtra was so attached in the beginning, he became so detached, and his life was also glorious. So Bena's life is also not tampered. He was so attached in the beginning, and he died without becoming detached. He was sinful. Then his life is not tampered. So scriptures don't tamper the life storyline. They take the as it is storyline and give lessons to us. That's the beauty of the scriptures. And it's not necessary that always a person will have to behave like Uttanapad or Dhruva. There are examples like Prahlad, who are spotless, and no single tenth of any time they made any mistake, right? So, but both Prahlad Maharaj's storyline gives us a lot of inspiration, and Dhruva's storyline also gives us a lot of hope that yes, even if I commit mistakes, it is not the end of life. Uttanapad committed a serious mistake. Dhruva, as we will see, Dhruva committed a serious mistake. For someone at the level of taking darshan of Narayan, committing such a mistake is not at all advisable. Dhruva committed a serious mistake, but then that was forgiven because of his right attitude. So we should aspire for the right attitude and understand that the scriptures will never tamper the storyline. They will present the storyline as it is and present what we can learn from the storyline. Is this clear? Hare Krishna.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ritu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Bol.
Thank you.
Yes.
So my question is that you were saying that we have to act like Vidura. So in same time we are saying we have to surrender to Krishna in every situation.
Yeah.
So how can we decide that कौन सी situation में हमें surrender करना चाहिए और कौन सी situation में हमें surrender नहीं करना चाहिए? Because like हम हमारी लाइफ में materially बहुत सारी ऐसी situations होती है जिनमें हम लोग किसी से हेल्प नहीं ले पाते हैं. तो कृष्णा इज द सुप्रीम फादर, सुप्रीम लॉर्ड, सुप्रीम एज अ सुप्रीम फादर वी हैव टू गो डायरेक्टली टू हिम. तो हमें कैसे पता होगा कि ये मटेरियल डिजायर में हमें नहीं सरेंडर करना है? बिकॉज
Okay, so how do we know? So is it like the scriptures are so vague in telling what is material desire and not material desire? It's very clear. If we are chanting 16 rounds seriously and sincerely, prioritizing to it, we are prioritizing to attending Srimad Bhagavatam, prioritizing to practice Krishna consciousness seriously, then we are in the right track. It's very clear. The things, the guidelines are very clear. The guidelines are not very vague. And as far as material desires are concerned, how do we know that whether it is a material desire or whether it is a right pursuit, not right pursuit? We should honestly confide to some Vaishnava who is our well-wisher, who can really help us, some guru. So we should confide. That's what is called Guhyam Akhyata Pritchati. Guhyam akhyati pritchati. So we have some material desires in our heart, which is guhya. Akhyati, we should tell it to someone who can help us and tell us whether it is material desire, how much we should pursue it and how much we should not pursue it. Pritchati, and then ask what I should do. Guhyam akhyati pritchati. Guhyam, that is the guhya desires in our heart. Akhyati, that is speaking. Pritchati, first we confess and confide. Akhyati pritchati, then we inquire what I should do now. So that is the scriptural injection of dealing with, we should have some Vaishnavas with whom we can confidentially share the matters of our heart. If we do not have, then we are in a very, very dangerous situation. So we should have some trust on someone whom we can actually confidentially speak that this is the condition of my heart, right? And then there are some weaknesses of mind like Uttanapad, that is ठीक है, that it's a weakness of mind. But if our heart is having some problem, then immediately we should confide. Sometimes there is weakness of mind, we are convinced about the goal of life, but sometimes we get distracted and then again we are on track. That's a different thing. That we do not. But Guhyam Akhyati, Guhyam means heart. In our heart we have certain convictions which are not proper, then we should inquire it, and we should never keep any confusing. It's not any, there is no confusion in this. So Guhyam Akhyati Pritchati. Is this clear? Will you remember this? Huh? Guhyam Akhyati Pritchati. Guhyam, confide. Akhyati Pritchati, inquire. So confide and consult. So first we need to confide about what is the condition of our heart, then consult. Pritchati, inquire what is the course of action. Is clear? Okay. Yeah. Poonam Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So Prabhuji, because of your mercy and shelter, that now I have learned to prioritize my things. But still, the material responsibilities, for example, for the ladies, it is sometimes it is like a ocean. The superiors, they tell you so many things, and then you think sometimes that, oh, I can use these things in 20 minutes, and the rest of the hours, the 3 hours, I can engage in Krishna consciousness. So then we prioritize. But what are the scriptures saying, should we take care of the relatives and the children also and everything, or should we just take care of your parents in their old age? So what is a clear definition of what is a material responsibility?
Oh, okay. So how much material responsibility we should take?
Extent?
Okay, what's the extent? Yeah. Yeah. So definitely our material responsibilities extends to our immediate parents. That's the first responsibility we have. And if we are married, then husband and wife and children. So that's the first circle of material responsibilities we have. And we try to fulfill that first circle and try to practice bhakti. And then beyond that circle is an extra thing that we can do. And as devotees, what we can do is that instead of giving physical help, if we have capacity, we provide some financial help to the extended relatives. But our physical and financial help of a responsibility should be confined to our immediate relatives. And extended relatives, we can only give little financial help if they are in some difficulty or something. Definitely, as we are earning and we are a grihastha, it is a responsibility. So that's there. But we should also understand that finances or physical help, they will get from anywhere and everywhere, many places. But they will only can get Krishna from us only. So we should also realize a higher material responsibility in our life towards our family members and relatives. So it's not necessary that just giving some physical help to our parents is the end of material responsibility. And that is the big problem that we think. Helping them to connect with Krishna is also a responsibility. Now they may not want to get connected with Krishna, but at least if they come to our home, we do not reduce down any of our commitments. So they see us fully engaged in Krishna consciousness and they also get engaged. We also give them some service. And whatever they can pick up some service or something they do. It's a responsibility. But our material responsibility should be restricted to our immediate family. Beyond that, it's based on how much we can do. But immediate family includes parents and sons and daughters, husband and wife, and brothers and sisters. So this is our immediate circle of family, and that is like a responsibility. Beyond that is an extra, and if we have capacity, we can instead of doing any physical help, we can try to give some financial help if possible. But within the whole 2 layers of material responsibility, we should try to see that we inject Krishna consciousness in some way or other in our family, whatever we have. And regarding we can do our material responsibilities in 20 minutes and do our Krishna consciousness in 2-3 hours remaining time, we should have a desire to practice bhakti very nicely, render service. We should have a spirit to help the outside world, to connect the outside world to Krishna. That spirit should be there. And if that spirit is there, that attitude is there, Krishna will ultimately, where all the problems are coming from the material energy only. So Krishna will reduce down the material noose from our neck. And then our material life will become simpler and simpler. Like how I am able to sit peacefully here in Calcutta and give sessions to all of you. My old father is there, but my old father is very nicely taken care by my 2 sisters. I am so grateful to them. Why my 2 sisters are taking care of my old father? They are not complaining. Krishna only. Krishna is inspiring. Krishna is there in the heart, their heart as Paramatma, and telling, "Arey, karo iska seva tum. तुम्हारा भाई उधर भक्ति कर रहा है मेरा, तुम इधर सेवा करो." So we should see Krishna's hand. When Moraji, Srimati Moraji or someone who that Scindia steam ship, Jalduta cargo ship, that company's that person who gave the ticket to Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada writes in his diary that I thank Krishna for inspiring Srimati Moraji for giving me a ticket. So in this way, Krishna is in the heart of all our relatives, and Krishna will ensure that everything, they become peaceful so that I can practice bhakti. So Krishna will ensure that. But if we do not have desire to practice bhakti and serious, then Krishna will give lot of obstacles in our life. So if we have the right spirit and right attitude, then these obstacles will actually, Krishna will reduce those obstacles. Or if Krishna puts obstacles, those obstacles will simply meant to glorify us, to appreciate us. Like Krishna put so many obstacles in the life of Pandavas. Why? To appreciate the Pandavas. So in that way, we should take care of our material responsibilities very nicely, but we should ensure that our spiritual duties are intact. And but if we have a right spirit to serve Krishna, to really give Krishna consciousness to others, preach Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will tell, "Arey, ye mera abhi servant ban gaya." Krishna will tell to material energy. So material energy said, "Yes, my boss, what I should do now? Relieve him." Yes, yes, relieve Poonam. Yes, 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 relieve. Then what about her other responsibilities? I will take care. Don't worry, Krishna. So material energy will tell. So if we are engaged in Krishna's service, then material energy will put Dandavat. Now you do not require any post or position. Just like when Ramananda Rai was actually the governor of Madras. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Ramananda Rai, "You should come to Puri and you stay here." And then Ramananda Rai left. He went to Prataprudra, his boss, and he told Prataprudra Maharaj that I want to leave. Prataprudra was shocked. You want to give resignation? Why? Now I want to serve Lord Chaitanya in Puri. That's why I want a resignation. Prataprudra Maharaj, when he heard Lord Chaitanya, he said immediately to Ramananda Rai, "Arey, you are so fortunate to serve Lord Chaitanya. Why resignation? You take double salary and stay with Lord Chaitanya and enjoy serving Lord Chaitanya." And in this way, Prataprudra Maharaj comes back, Ramananda Rai comes to Chaitanya, to Puri. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, "Arey, you are a grihastha, you left the job, what will happen?" No, actually Prataprudra, my boss, gave me a job. And my job is to now serve you and I will get double salary. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes so pleased with Prataprudra. He says, because Prataprudra, the king, served you as a Vaishnava, he served you, surely he is going to get the mercy of Krishna. So now in this way, we should take this as an example that if we want to surrender to Krishna, serve Krishna, Krishna is Maya Dhyakshena Prakriti. He is actually the in charge of Prakriti. He is the actual in charge of all our material responsibilities, material duties, the material world, everything. If he says, immediately the material energy will arrange everything to become so nice so that we can serve Krishna very nicely. But if we have no spirit to serve Krishna, then material energy will keep on putting the noose in our neck and making our life more and more complicated. I see some people's life, they become more and more complicated. Why? Because they don't want to, do not have the spirit to serve. And material energy makes your life complicated based on your karma only. So you'll have to suffer your karma. But if we have a spirit to serve selflessly Krishna, then material energy will take care of everything. What is Durga Devi's, can Durga Devi not take care of my father? One father kya? She is taking care of all. She is Ma, Jagat Mata, Jagadambe. Yes? Namaste Jagadambike. She is Jagadambe. She is mother of everyone. Can she not take care of my father? One person? Easily. All resources, everything she can give. If I practice bhakti, she will do that. If I don't practice bhakti, Durga Devi will tell, nonsense. तुम भक्ति नहीं कर रहा, at least पापा का सेवा करो जाके. So like that. So we should understand that this world is controlled by Durga and Durga is controlled by Krishna. And we are surrendering to Krishna. So Durga Devi is very, very happy. अरे तुम्हारा और कुछ material responsibility नहीं, सब मैं करूँगा. तुम्हारा सब कुछ मैं कर लूँगा. तुम भगवान की सेवा करो अच्छे से. Right? So this spirit should be there. And this faith should be there. Right? And on a practical level, we should take guidance. Not that we put Dandavat to Durga Devi and say, Durga Devi, aap sab le lo, main abhi bhakti karne ho. That is not. On a practical level, we should take guidance from our superiors. But on a spirit level, we should have full faith that if I am surrendering to Krishna, everything else taken care. Devarshi bhutapta ninam pritrinam naking karo nayam rinicha rajan yato mukundam gato mukundam parihritya kartam. One who does saran of Mukunda Devarshi, Bhutapta, Nrinam, Pritrinam. He doesn't have any obligations from anyone else, from Devas, from Rishis, from Bhutas, from Aptas, from the relatives, from the parents. No one he has any responsibilities. Everything is taken care by Krishna. Okay. But that doesn't mean that we become irresponsible. That simply means that we should have spirit to serve Krishna and take shelter and guidance from superiors on what should be the right course of action. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Yes. Sanyukta Mataji, then Nidhi Mataji last. Yes.
My question is that it is mentioned Uttarapada has left his home in the old days to get self-realized. So what the ladies used to do in those days to get self-realization?
Oh, very nice question, very nice question. Very nice feminist question. What the ladies used to do. Yeah, Uttanapad left home. What the ladies used to do. Yeah. So, the ladies would behave like Prahlad Maharaj. We see when the Pandavas, they left home for the body of a lady is not very much suitable to practice the austerities of the forest. And it is not required for the ladies to practice austerity. They have practiced already sufficient austerity while raising their children. So if the lady says that I will practice austerity, then everyone in the previous time would laugh. You have already performed a lot of austerity by raising the child. So that is why austerities are not meant for women. Because women by nature, by raising the child, it is such a big austerity. Ask this Ritu Mataji, Parul Mataji. If you ask Parul Mataji, you will understand. Right now you have not become a mother, but after becoming mother, you will very clear. You will say, that sufficient purification has been done. No more purification is required. But since men don't go through this purificatory process of raising the child, men are supposed to go and enter the forest and do austerities. And plus additionally, those times men were also, apart from those who are Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, because of their profession, they would be like Vaishyas would tell lies for their profession. Kshatriyas would fight and kill, involve in violence. So the men used to perform little unethical, not really unethical, but certain things which is not Brahminical, which is not actually required for maintenance of the family. Like Kshatriyas have to kill enemies. It is a killing only, na? Even if you kill enemy, it's a killing enemy only. Vaishya have to tell lies for doing business. So that's why men have to go through that austerity to purify themselves. But ladies' life, if they are good mothers, nowadays there are no good mothers. If ladies just become good mothers and raise their kids, that itself is their austerities. And that's why ladies are not recommended in scriptures to perform any other austerity. Their austerity is a material thing, na? Austerity is nothing spiritual. Like Uttanapad is going to forest doing austerity is nothing spiritual. Along with austerity, he does Nam Jap, he does remembrance of Krishna, that is spiritual. Don't consider just going to forest is spiritual activity. That is an austerity. It is required for material purification. And ladies sitting in home only while raising their kids, they perform that austerity. And they are since not involved in work and all those things. But nowadays, since the ladies are also working, they should also perform austerities like the men. Because they are also going out and working. They have to tell lies if they are in... so they have to also perform austerity like the men. So the principle is not lady or men. The principle is who is supposed to do the austerity. So if the ladies are mother, then their austerity quota is over. But if the ladies are working, then they have to also perform austerity like the men in the end. Austerity is for material purification. Now spiritually, both men and women, they have to do. Now men were performing in the forest and women were performing in the homes in the palaces under them. So when the Pandavas left for the forest, Uttara and like Kunti and all, they were remembering about Gandhari. They remembered about Krishna in the home only, and then they left their bodies in the home itself. So that was what was meant for the ladies. So two reasons. The first reason is ladies' bodies already through the raising of the child and all, they have already gone through sufficient austerities. If a lady just becomes a right mother, responsible mother, loving mother, caring mother, she doesn't have to perform any austerity. She has already performed the quota of austerities in her life. Since men do not raise child and they are also involved in professional work which involves violence, which involves speaking lies, they have to go through austerities, and they go to forest and perform material austerities for material purification. And men's body also is more suitable for those material austerities. Ladies cannot perform with their bodies. But as far as spirituality is concerned, men were doing the same spiritual activity in the forest, women were doing the same spiritual activity in the homes, and that would uplift you to spiritual world. These austerities will not uplift you to spiritual world. Right? Austerities are material purification. So rather, ladies would perform more austerities in living in home, raising children, than the men. So in that way, the scriptures' recommendation are for men different than the ladies. The reason, yes? Did you get it? Okay. But as far as spiritual things are concerned, like chanting the holy names of the Lord, reading the scriptures, there is no difference. Not that the men are doing some austerity, eating only fruit or roots and in the forest and not chanting Hare Krishna, then useless. And the ladies are chanting Hare Krishna in the homes, and then the ladies will go back to Godhead. Those men who are doing austerity will remain in the forest only and become monkeys in the next life to continue their austerities. A monkey is also doing austerity. Monkey is not wearing anything, eating only nuts and fruits and everything. Doing austerity. He will become some forest animal. Yes. So you want to become forest animal? No, so chant Hare Krishna, be happy. Yes, Nidhi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
And
And that is how all the ladies should become mothers. All the ladies should become mothers. Until unless there are some medical, nowadays there is a culture nowadays. What is the culture? We'll get married, but we'll adopt a child. No, that is not the process. You have to have a child if you are married. Why? Because having a child is the process of austerity for the ladies and also for the men, both. Yes, Veer Narasimha Prabhu, what is the austerity in your life? Both are fully purified, fully. There's no doubt about it. So by adopting, you will not get purified like this. So if you adopt, you will not get purified like this. Yes, you can adopt 10 children, but you should have one children of yours to go through that purificatory process. So that is yajna in grihastha ashram. The yajna in grihastha ashram is to have a child and go through that purification. Yajna means what? Sacrifice, purification. So yajna means to have child, and 2 child means 2 times yajna and 2 times purification. And beyond that, you can adopt so many. You can give to orphanages. You can adopt 10 child, 20 child, 30 child based on your capacity. No problem of adoption. Problem is you have to have child. Until unless you have some medical issues, then that's a different thing. But all ladies should have child. All men should become father if they are married and go through that process. Not that, oh no, we are married but we stay separate. Nowadays this is a culture. It's all useless. This is useless culture, animalistic culture. If you are married, you should have child, and that is the austerity. Purification. And you have mother, you should raise the child, you should give milk to the child, you should give more and more milk to the child. That's austerity. If one is a mother, gives milk, then all the energy gets drained completely. That's austerity. एकादशी व्रत में क्या होता है, पूरा थक जाते हैं, सब एनर्जी चला जाता है. So mother gives milk, पूरा एनर्जी चला जाता है. This is austerity. This is tapasya. Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam suddhe dasma. So this is tapasya, and then there is divya tapasya. How a mother can do divya tapasya? By training the child in bhakti. So then the tapasya also becomes divya. But tapasya is required. So the modern culture is no austerity. No austerity they want to do. So that is very, very dangerous. All ladies should become mother. They should have aspiration to become mother. And they should have aspiration to become very responsible mother, taking care of the kid. And that is a very nice austerity for them. Yes. Hare Krishna. Yes, Nidhi Mataji. Sorry.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, my question is from the last class. In the last class, you said that like we have to renounce from the material. If we have to renounce association from material energy, if we have to move ahead in spiritual life. Prabhuji, there are like while living in this world, we have certain association in the sense of relatives who are absolutely pulling you back and back towards material energy. And not letting you do, but they are the ones who you can't renounce. I mean, you can't live. Like, suppose you can't live your mother, you can't live your husband. They are these kind of relations, but they are pulling you back and back into the material energy. So how to handle such kind of relatives or people around us?
Yeah. So you have seen magnet?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, and you have seen iron?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And you have seen plastic?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So if you put magnet and iron, what will happen?
They attract.
And if you put magnet and plastic, what will happen?
They don't attract.
Yes. So magnet can pull only iron. Magnet, can it pull plastic?
No.
So where is the problem? The plastic or the magnet is having problem? Plastic or iron?
Yes, Prabhuji, got my answer.
So if your family members are pulling you, they're like magnet. So you become like plastic. You don't get pulled. But if you remain like iron and maintain, yes, material desires are nice, material desires need to be fulfilled. If you are not convinced in your heart, then you will get pulled.
So Prabhuji, what happens that you get convinced? You already know that this.
So that means problem is not in your material relatives. Problem is in your heart. Try to solve that. You become plastic.
No, Prabhuji, I mean, you are a sannyasi, you would not realize, but we are so deep.
I have stayed in home. I am not a sannyasi from birth like Sukadeva Goswami, who came out of the womb and started running towards forest. I stayed in home. I stayed in IIT. You don't know what is studying in IIT. I got a lucrative job which I left. So it's not that I became a sannyasi. I have lived in material world, and now also I am living in material world. I go to companies and office to give seminars where there is a lot of glamour and glitter, so many people speaking so many things. So it's not that you are only in material world. I am also equally in material world like you, and have also gone through all those stages. So, and it is possible from my experience to be nice with the relatives and also keep your spiritual commitments proper. In the beginning, there will be little bit of jhamela. Like I remember when I was very small, there was so much of jhamela because of not taking non-veg. Everyone was taking non-veg in my family. And I was telling that I will not take, and I was in standard 1, very small. There was jhamela, there was jhagda. 1 or 2 years jhagda hua. After that my father surrendered. So okay, you take vegetarian, we'll all take non-vegetarian, and that's finished. After that I never told them not to take non-veg. I said, you do whatever you want to do, your life. I will do whatever this is. And as a son, I behaved properly. Not because my father was a non-vegetarian, I didn't clear up his loans. Arey, non-vegetarian, I will not clear your loans. Not because my parents were non-vegetarian, I didn't build a house for them. I built a house for them, I cleared my loans. My sister was die-hard non-vegetarian. Still, I cleared up her study loans, not just other loans, study loans. I behaved like a responsible son. But as far as my Krishna conscious principles were concerned, from childhood, I was like that. So I stayed, so you can also stay. Not that from childhood, like Sukadeva Goswami was born from the womb and started running. I was there, I behaved like a responsible son, so you can also behave like a responsible wife very nicely within your family and practice bhakti. And your family is a vegetarian, I suppose. It's much better situation than what I was in. Much better situation, I would say. Don't speak about I am sannyasi and all those things. I have much better experience than you. Putting you in my family situation, what I was there in my childhood, you will really be horrified. So you are in a better situation, and those little bit problems will be there, and they are very good. They will keep you inspired that yes, I have to do bhakti nicely, provided you have attachment to your Guru and Krishna. So try not thinking about your material side magnet. Try to think how much you are getting attracted to the lotus feet of Guru and Krishna. That attraction should be more than this attraction. If that attraction is more, then you will be pulled out. Even if that pulling is there, you will be pulled out. Right? Imagine there is and same example. Okay, you are not able to become plastic. You are iron, and your parents are a small magnet. But if Guru is a big magnet for you, then you will pulled out this side, na?
Yes.
So even if you don't become fully plastic, right? Even if you are iron, you have material desires, no problem. You surrender to Guru, you will be pulled out. Right? So, and your family situation is much better than any of other people who have to also, in terms of diet, they have to fight. Ask other ladies who are coming from non-vegetarian families, what fights they have to make. So, your situation is much better. Don't complain. Try to understand that yes, I am in a much better situation. Krishna has put me in a vegetarian family. Half of the problem, 90% of the problem is solved. And I don't think any husband would be so micromanaging that, tum kyun 16 rounds kar raha hai? And rather husbands are so happy. Prabhuji, so much of money is getting saved. Previously he used to go to kitty parties, waste so much of money. Now he is chanting Hare Krishna. Such a wonderful so happy. Lakshmi is not getting consumed, and she is just sitting and chanting Hare Krishna, and she has become so peaceful. So you should develop good qualities so that your family members become very convinced that Krishna consciousness is working. Krishna consciousness is bringing change. Like my father, whatever he says, he will say, "Mera beta jawab nahi deta hai." Utna bhi, my father will speak so many things to me. I will just smile. Yes. मैं तो बहुत ही खराब हूँ. गाली मारेंगे my father. So yes. भक्ति काम कर रहा है. ठंडा रहता है ये. In that way, you should see that. Don't get overly disturbed by these situations, because understand that these situations are much better than others. And be grateful. If you are grateful, then Krishna will help you more. But if you complain that why I have got such type of relatives, they are pulling me. They are not pulling you. You are getting pulled because you are not surrendering to Guru and Krishna nicely. But if you consider Guru as a bigger magnet, then you will surrender. You will have no problem in life, even if you have some material desires. Even if you have some material desires. Like Dhruva had material desires, he had no problem. Because for him, Narada's magnet was much bigger than his material desires and the insult that came. So then he got pulled out of his material desires. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
What did you understand from?
I have to become plastic. I have to try to become plastic. And if I cannot become plastic, I have to get attracted towards a bigger magnet.
Yeah, so that's so right now you'll not become plastic so easily, right?
Yes.
And no problem, don't worry. So this is first thing I said, you become plastic. The second thing is that if you cannot become plastic, it will take some time for you to become detached. Then you have a bigger magnet, right? And the third thing I said is your situation is much better than many of our situations which we faced. So be grateful, right? And do your material duties with lot of sincerity. Do your material duties with lot of sincerity. Be a very nice, sincere wife, right? So practicing spirituality is not in not doing material life sincerely. Do it sincerely, okay? Don't get attached.
Yes, Prabhuji.
That is part of austerity for the woman.
Yes.
Yes. So you don't have to go to forest. Just consider that. You can sit on your sofa and chant Hare Krishna. And because you are practicing the austerity of raising child and in the home staying. Okay, whenever scriptures tell do something, there will be always some purification, there will be always some lucrative thing. Both are always there. Okay?
Okay.
All the best, all the best, all the best. May Srimati Radharani bless you always. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpataru vaishya kripa sindhu vaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta koti vaishnav vrinda ki jai. Vaishnav Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna.